Well, we just had a Dracula movie called Renfield a couple months ago, which was really, really fun. And now we got a different Dracula story, much more serious, called Last Voyage of the Demeter. So let's review it. Last Voyage of the Demeter stars Corey Hawkins, David Dastmalchian, Liam Cunningham, and is directed by André Øvredal. What's up, guys? Welcome to a brand new 2023 review. Quick correction, I just did my out-of-theater reaction. I know I should do my homework first, but I wanted to get the out-of-theater reaction. I said that André Øvredal directed Overlord. I was wrong. He actually directed Autopsy of Jane Doe, as well as Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. Both those films are very good. If he would have directed Overlord, it would have been, kind of even keel anyway, because I love that movie too. But it's even better, because I love Autopsy of Jane Doe and Scary Stories. I didn't even realize that until after the credits. I avoided pretty much everything about this movie. I just knew that it was about Dracula's voyage to London from Romania.
Search the ship everywhere. Evil is on board. He's coming!
And I've always thought that that particular story is really cool, and I always felt in my mind that they would never make a story like that, just because Dracula is such a bigger-than-life character, and there's just a lot of ground that they could cover with Dracula. So we got lucky, and they did it, and it's just a very small-scale, contained, claustrophobic type of environment, dark, and it's scary. By the way, guys, I don't get scared by movies, okay? When I say it's scary, I mean that it does the things that scary movies do, okay? Some of you might get freaked out by this movie, all right? Not freaked out, but some of you might get some scares out of this movie, okay? There were a couple moments I was like, ooh, that's some scary shit right there. I like that. I like that very much. You got your date with you. This is a great date movie, by the way. You got your date with you, and she's gonna clench onto your arm on some of the scenes in this movie that have Dracula. So anyway, before I go any further, let me give you a quick plot synopsis. The beginning of this movie kind of reminded me of Titanic, because the boat hasn't left the pier yet, and you see our I guess he's our main character, Clemens, and he's playing cards just like Jack was in Titanic, and he can't get on the boat at first, and eventually he's able to get on the boat. Okay, let's just say that, much like Jack. So that's the only relation you can find to Titanic. Oh, actually, no, because then there's a big disaster that you know is going to happen. You know the ending of this story. Even if you haven't read the book, which I haven't, you know that Dracula, he makes it onto the mainland in London. So, that's not a spoiler. Everybody knows. But, I'm comparing it to Titanic. But anyway, it's a very simple story. Once they're on that boat, the Demeter, then Dracula, he needs to feed nightly until he gets there. And that's exactly what he does. Very simple story. Does exactly what you want it to. Are there any left turns or right turns or crazy shit that goes on? Well, I'm not going to tell you that, all right? Because this is but I'll just say it's a very satisfying meal, no pun intended, all right? It does everything that you want this type of movie to do. I would even say this feels like a slasher movie. It really does. If you go by the very definition of a slasher movie, killing victims off one by one, and there's plenty of victims. Okay, so now let's dive into the characters. Our main character, Clemens, he is this doctor, and elephant in the room, he is a black guy, and they do touch on the situation back in the late 1800s. If you are, a person of color, then that's probably going to affect your career progression. But the movie doesn't get bound down by that. It's a full-blown horror movie. But there is a moment at the end of the movie where he has this dialogue where he talks about the struggles that he has had. And that can get in the way of his work, right? Because he's a doctor. And so there's this stowaway by the name of Jane. She is, she's on the ship too. We all know that she's going to be like, Dracula always has a subject that he has to feed on, okay? And so it's just another chess piece in this movie that you can kind of play around with. And you're always wondering what is going to come of her throughout the movie, because they have to give her this blood transfusion, So you're always wondering, is she going to vamp out at any time? Who knows? But she's a great character, actually. And she's sort of that messenger. She's the one that knows what Dracula is capable of. All right? And so she is there trying to let Clemens and the other shipmates know what's going on. And they don't know this woman. They think she's crazy. Now, gotta mention David Dastmalchian. You've seen him pop up in so many things, and he's just such a great character actor, but he has that something extra, something special, you know, visually and his delivery. He's a great actor, actually, and he can take on a lot of different types of roles. And he's a unique looking guy. I liked this character because you can compare him to like Mayor Vaughn in Jaws. You know, he's definitely the doubting Thomas of the movie at the beginning. He doesn't take Clemens seriously, and so you kind of feel like he's going to be butting heads with Clemens throughout the movie. But of course, as it goes along, once he starts realizing what's going on, then you start liking the guy, actually. So this is a character with some depth, you know, he's not one-dimensional at all, and he happened to be one of my favorite characters in the movie. And then, of course, you got Liam Cunningham, who is like the captain, who wants to pass his job down to Wojciech, David Dastmalchian's character. But, you know, we all know him from Game of Thrones. He's great in Game of Thrones. So, yeah, great characters. Of course, Dracula. I love the way Dracula is presented in this. I don't want to give you too much so you guys can enjoy it, but I will say, think Nosferatu. You know, you get some heavy Nosferatu vibes. They opt to go the scary route here instead of the seductive route that Dracula becomes known for when he gets to the mainland. This is survival. This is what Dracula is trying to do here. And he's pretty much a monster, a creature. And there are some really creepy moments, creepy reveals with him. You'll have sometimes where he's kind of hiding in this dark corner of the ship while it's raining. There'll be other moments where he's up high. He looks like an animal. And it's really bloody. This is a rated R movie, and it definitely earns that R. There are some nice, violent scenes to satisfy your bloodthirst, all right? And that's what I wanted. You know, I like a vampire movie that's just really bloody. I like the monster side of vampire movies, I guess. Don't get me wrong, I love Lost Boys and stuff like that. I think Lost Boys has the perfect balance because you do get some of the monster stuff, but you also get, you know, the seductive type stuff that you get with vampire movies. Yeah, but overall, guys, definitely giving this a purchase worthy. Shocked that I'm giving it that. I went into this movie expecting the worst, for lack of a better word, and I came out quite satisfied with it. It was a really fun vampire movie. Gets right to the point, probably like an hour and 40 minutes and you're out of there. But guys, I think because of the writer's strike and the actor's strike, this movie's not going to get much promotion. So I'm here to do it and tell you to go out and see this movie this weekend if you get a chance. If you're in the mood for something, you know, scary and dark, this is definitely your movie. André Øvredal does a fantastic job directing this. So anyway, let me know what you guys thought of Last Voyage of the Demeter in the comments. Looking forward to hearing them. Also, be sure to come over to Killer Flicks, where we talk horror all day and every day. And on Fridays, we do Free for Fridays. Follow me, Drumdums, on my socials. Support me on Patreon. Buy me a coffee. And you guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Drumdum out.